is Emily, and this is my channel, Effort and Grace Yoga. Today's practice is going to be a yin yoga flow for your hips and legs. So if you're not here for all of my descriptions and introductions, the flow starts at this timestamp, so you can go ahead and skip forward if need be. So I want to do things a little different on this channel. I want to provide yoga flows that are great for everyone, but also for people who have a goal in mind or are working on a certain pose. And today's pose is monkey pose or Hanumana Asana. So the intent for this practice is to release your muscles, and while you're releasing your muscles, also to release your ego. I know for a lot of us that practicing yoga kind of gets the best of us, as in we want to be able to do the really cool things. We really want to be able to go deeper into poses than we actually are ready for. So I think it's really important that we practice yoga in a very safe manner. Yoga is supposed to feel good, and sometimes our ego will make it not feel good. So that's kind of the intent for this, and it's one of the things that I'm going to be focusing on while I'm guiding you through these series of poses, and also at the very end, monkey pose. Again, thank you for joining me, and let's just get into it. We're going to fold over, releasing your neck, releasing your shoulders, bending really generously into your knees, and your stomach is going to touch your thighs, probably. And you're just going to let go. Maybe even grab elbows, let go of your neck, just let go. We're going to be here a little while. All you have to do is remember to breathe. Noticing your inhale, noticing your exhale. Just letting go. Next inhale, straighten your knees, draw your hands up your shins, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Alright, go ahead, plant your hands and step your right foot back into a low lunge. And then drop your knee and untuck your toes. Now we're going to come up and adjust our hips, making sure that they're facing forward. Our knee is facing forward. Our toes, go ahead and look behind you or facing back. Everything is in this nice straight line. Come down to your hands and just stay here if this is where you feel sensation. If not, drop a little bit lower into your thigh, into both hips. Again, find your edge, and you don't have to go past it. be here for a little while. So just breathe. Noticing where you feel sensation, where you can let go just a little bit more. The next pose is going to be half splits. It's bringing your awareness back. Start to move backwards, straightening your left leg. You're going to straighten your left leg, keeping your right bent at a nice 90-degree angle. Right here. Again, check in with your hips. Are they pointing straight forward if you stand up? Then that's good. Again, find your edge here. We're going to be here a while. So just breathe. And remember, you can always put a nice micro bend into your knee. Protect that joint. Bend that front leg. Tuck your toes. And come to a seated position. Legs out in front. Enough for you to just lay down. With an inhale, bring your left knee, kind of hug it in, and extend your foot up. You can keep a bend in your knee, that's fine. And if you have a yoga strap, that's where this comes in handy. You can strap it around your foot, right here, so you can hold it here and pull. But your hands work just fine. Your next exhale, let the foot go back down to your mat. On your inhale, bring your right knee into your side body. Hug it in, and then extend that foot up. Again, keeping a micro bend if you want. Exhale, go ahead and lay on down flat. And then slowly roll over onto your stomach. And then press back into child's pose. Bring in your big toes to touch. Knees are about mat width distance. On your next inhale, slowly come up to a seated position. And then slowly rock forward, tuck your toes, and come back to that ragdoll forward fold that we started the practice with. This time you can take a wider stance, maybe. Bend your knees. Bring your stomach to touch your thighs, and release your neck, release your back, release your shoulders. If you'd like, you can start to straighten your legs. Maybe a little bit. And on your next breath, plant your palms and extend your left foot back. Again, that low lunge, dropping your knee, untucking your toes. Now each side is going to feel different. Sometimes we'll be able to go deeper into a pose on one side instead of the other. And that's okay. Again, let's check in with our hips. Make sure that they're facing forward. Our knee is facing forward and our back toe is facing directly behind us. Come back down to your hands and sink into your hips. And breathe. next inhale, bring awareness to your hip, to the muscles that have been stretching. And then gently start to straighten your right leg, which is going to push your hips back. And again, half splits on this side. Pay attention to your hips. Are they still facing forward? Again, if you need to go deeper within this half split, try moving that forward foot, your right foot forward, instead of sinking back into a C. Gently start to rebend that right knee back into that lunge. Tuck your toes under, lift your back knee off, and step forward to a low squat, and then down onto your butt. Come into a seated position with the soles of your feet together and your knees splayed out to the side of you. This is probably one of my favorite poses, Baddha Konasana, or butterfly pose. Now, just like we did for child's pose, this is a good reset after doing so much lateral work with our hips. And just breathe. So we are now done with the warm-up poses. I'd like to go into showing monkey pose. So this is where your block or your set of books or whatever you want to prop yourself up on is going to be necessary. Because we don't want to be hanging out too much, using too many muscles when we're getting into monkey pose. So we're going to start with our left side to go into monkey pose. And the most important thing is just to remember to keep your hips squared to the front of your mat. It's very important not to sway them to one side or the other just to get deeper into the pose. So one way to get into it is from that dragon lunge that we were doing. Untucking your toes and kind of pressing forward. So from here in this lunge, again, check in with your hips. And go ahead and take that yoga block on its highest setting and put it right under your left butt. Not sitting down on it just yet, but right underneath it. Come back to your hands and start inching your left foot further and further away. And recheck. Are you touching it now? Can you lower down onto it? A little bit. Inch it forward just a little bit more. Maybe even inch your right leg back a little bit. And then see if you can sit down on it. Okay, so I can touch it. This is, at least on this side, I can start to feel my glute pulling. I can start to feel my calf pulling. And the psoas on this right leg is doing pretty good. Now, if you're finding yourself having this nice arch, like this back bend, try to just lean forward, or even just leaning forward a little bit. We want to keep all the pressure out and concaving that lower back, your lumbar spine. So just kind of lean forward or even come down like this to relieve that pressure. And then I'm just going to stay right here. And don't forget to breathe. Let's safely and slowly come out. So rebending that front leg, sliding it slowly. You can even lift off of that back toe to come into a lunge. And then slowly step forward. You can stand up. Kind of move that hip around and prepare for the next side. From down dog if you'd like. If you're in down dog, you can always lift your right leg, step it forward and through. And then from here, of course, lower your back knee, grab your yoga block, place it on the highest setting, right under your butt. And scooch your leg forward. Check in with your block. See if you can sit on it. All right. And you might notice that on your right side, you might be able to go even deeper before finding your edge. So if you would like to go a little bit deeper to find your edge, here's one way. Come off of your block. You can move it down to the next setting. Inch your forward leg, that right leg forward. See if you can inch back a little bit on your left. Make sure that this block is right under your butt, and the long side leads forward to also support your leg. And see if you can sit up. Again, if you're having an arch in your back, you can always lean a little bit forward. And then just breathe. Again, seeing if you can release some of that tension in your muscles. Sinking into your hips.
your knee and slowly activate them to pull yourself together again. Maybe even ending up in tabletop. And slowly to a seat. So the last pose, and the pose that I'll leave you in, is a restorative yoga pose. It's caterpillar. And for this one, bring out those pillows and blankets, and let's get into it. So first, with one of your blankets, we're going to place this underneath your knees. So that we keep a nice bend in your knees. Now your feet and your legs are going to be about hip width distance apart. And then with your pillows, just going to stack them right here. Even maybe make that go like that. I'm going to stack them right on top, kind of creating some pressure on your legs. And then with a blanket, if you have it, you can go ahead and put that over your back and kind of just cuddle up. And you're just going to bend forward, hands kind of like in child's pose, almost. You're just going to bend forward and release. Release your back, release your butt. Release your knees into the pillow. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope that this has been helpful. I know that I give a lot of details, and I guess that's just who I am as a yoga teacher. I love the details and the body movements and getting to know your body and doing yoga in a very safe and beneficial way. And I hope you'll join me on my next flows and on my discussions and anything else. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, please leave them down below. Again, my name is Emily, and this is Effort and Grace Yoga.